Hi, welcome to Excelcoaching. This is the second recording on the Personal Finance Literacy series. We would like to start with a quote from Warren Buffett. If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need. How many of you echo with this view? In this recording, we'll focus on the topic of managing your spend behavior. Before we continue, I would like to invite you to subscribe to our channel, where on a weekly basis we post recordings aiming to improve financial literacy. These are free resources and you can subscribe simply by clicking on the subscribe button underneath the recording. In our last recording, we stated that more than 67% of the world population do not have a basic understanding of finance. And we explain how financial literacy can help with financial well-being. So, what are the components of financial well-being? At a concept level, it is about meeting commitments, feeling comfortable, and resilience for the future. Based on research completed by the University of Bristol's Professor Elaine Kempson, key behaviors that drive financial well-being are people's propensity to overspend, to borrow, and to save for the future. Feeling comfortable and resilience is impacted by active savings and investment strategies, which we'll cover in future recordings. Today, in this session, we'll be focusing on meeting commitments. When explaining financial commitment, a useful model to discuss is Warren and Tyagi 50-20-30 rule, based on their book, All You're Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan. While I don't 100% agree with this book, it is a very useful reference to distinguish between our needs, wants, and savings. What the model tells us is 50% of our income should go towards our needs. For example, rent, bills, food, and transport. 30% should be set aside for our wants. For example, nice clothing, holidays, or special gifts. 20% should be set aside for savings and not touched. This could be used for financial buffers, saving for a home loan, or long-term projects. If you are spending more than 50% of your income on your needs, you will have to either cut down on your wants or try to downsize your lifestyle. Putting some numbers to this, if you are earning $6,000 every month, $3,000 should go towards your needs, $1,000 should be saved, and $2,000 should go towards your wants. While Warren and Tyagi 50-20-30 framework is useful, let's talk through what can someone do if they are spending more than 50% of their income on their needs. One of the first assumptions is you have a budget to understand very accurately your income and what you're spending the money on. We'll have a separate session on budget at a later stage. Some people are very thrifty and only spend on what they absolutely need. Others are willing to spend a little bit more in the pursuit of a good life. There's no right or wrong answer here. The key is to get clarity on what you earn and your personal spending habits, so you can create a realistic plan to save and invest. Once you have a budget and you find yourself spending way too much on your needs, it is important to understand the options you have. Let's have a look at accommodation. Are you spending way too much on your mortgage? Is downsizing an option for you? Do you have a spare room perhaps you could rent and earn some income from it? Are you spending way too much on food? Consider looking at your grocery pattern. Perhaps bulk buying for certain non-perishable might be an option for you. Are you buying way too much and wasting food? Could you perhaps consider a green garden for some of your vegetables and herbs? Is your car expenses too much? Many people do not fully understand the full cost of ownership of a car. Fuel, registration, insurance, maintenance, parking all add to the cost of ownership. Could you consider other modes of transport, such as a public bus? Perhaps carpooling with your friends works for you. With your utilities and fixed repayments to financial institutions, have you considered shopping for a better, more cost-effective solution? For example, if you are paying too much interest on a loan, have you called your bank and asked for some help? If they can't help you, have you thought of going to a competitor instead and ask how they can help you? Strategies to reduce the cost of your wants. Wants are all the things you spend money on but are not absolutely essential. This includes fancy dining, new handbag, vacations, the latest electronic gadget, your jewelry, and so on. Anything in the wants bucket is optional. You can work out at home instead of going to the gym, cook instead of eating out, or watch sports on the TV instead of getting tickets to the game. Basically, wants are all those little extras you spend money on what make life more enjoyable and entertaining. If you are keen to become more financially resilient, it is important to reduce the size of your wants and grow the savings pie. The 50-20-30 model is a good framework, but they just don't work in some circumstances. For example, for some people and spend categories, it may be difficult to separate your needs versus your wants. Is your car a need? Maybe yes, so you can commute for your work. But how about a luxury car? Second, you may have lots of large debts crippling you, which means you have well over 50% in that category and almost nothing left for your wants and savings. In this situation, it is important that you seek financial help. The model can also be too rigid in the sense that for certain income level, 30% going on wants is probably too much. In fact, you could argue for any income level, the objective should be to reduce the want category and grow the save category. Last, for some of us, compulsive buying or addiction could be a problem, which makes it difficult to save. This is where finance literacy and professional help would become very useful. One of the main reasons why people find themselves trapped financially is excessive debts and credits. The graph on the left-hand side shows a percentage of adults who use a credit card based on a research from S&P. What is concerning is a proportion of people who have taken debts are not financially literate. More than two-thirds of people who have credit cards would be in the category of not financially literate. Before you take a credit card or a loan, you should consider doing a budget. This lets you compare your income, that is money coming in, with your expenses, money going out. Today, you may be able to take the debt and afford the repayment. But what if your income situation changes? Be careful about borrowing more money for your wants or to repay existing debts. Additional borrowing can seem like a good idea and may help in the short term, but can often lead to more serious long-term problems. Why do people borrow in the first place? Ask yourself, can that spend be avoided or deferred until you have the money? Until and unless the borrowing is going to be put into something productive and will actually grow, debt should be avoided. Thank you for watching our recording on managing your spend behavior. This is a real problem and one of the first steps in building your financial resilience. For the upcoming recording on this series, we will discuss other topics like how to save and what does optimal investing look like. If you like our recordings, please do subscribe to our channel. There's a subscribe button underneath the recording or by clicking on the Excelcoaching logo. Thank you, and until next time.